Hello and welcome to Midnight Scribe's Creative Vibes, where we speak to the best of the bronies and discover what makes them tick. Now, we're doing something a little bit different today, and actually for a couple of the episodes of this season. Now you see, we started Creative Vibes back in 2015, which is 4 years ago, and in that time, we have become a household name. Admittedly, in my own house, but it's still a household, I'm going to take it. But you know, things have changed so much. 4 years, the fandom has moved on so much since then, and people changed, new projects, all sorts of things happen. So we had a bit of an idea. Why don't we actually speak to some of the guests that we've had on previously throughout earlier seasons of Creative Vibes, and let's just find out what have they been up to. A little bit of a retrospective kind of episode, you know what I mean? So, I tell you what, we're going to go right back to 2015, right back to the penultimate episodes of the first season, where we had on a fantastic Australian interviewer and the host of a fantastic podcast called I'm Brony and I'm Proud. Well, he was doing that in 2015, we are now in 2019, so I am very delighted to bring back Lucky Knight to the show. Lucky, how are you doing?
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be back. Oh, to hear the sultry, lovely voice of Midnight Scribe. And shout out to all the Creative Vibe viewers, listeners, and any other media you choose to form to receive information.
Now that is a hearty welcome, and honestly, it is so great to have you on, Lucky. I mean, I know we've worked on a few things since Creative Vibes, and we've chatted regularly, whenever we get the opportunity. But it's nice to actually just, be able to sit down from two sides of the world and actually just have a good, proper, old-fashioned chat again.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't be more comfortable. I'm actually just sitting in my bed here, so because it's still morning at this time. So I thought, make myself comfortable and get my vibe on.
Oh, exactly. Listen, that's how comfortable Creative Vibes is, people. We have guests in their bed and they are chill when we're actually doing an interview. That's how good we are. And it is midnight right now, and I am in my living room. And I will admit, I've had a very long day. I'm very tired. I could actually be in my bed right now. I feel like I should be, just to match, from two different sides of the world. Both in beds, but for different reasons.
Your throat is going to be a wee bit. If pain persists, see a brony.
And yeah, oh no, it's just been a bit dry. It's been one of those things. I've been a little bit under the weather the last couple of weeks. But you know what? We people, we persevere. But let's actually talk about yourself, Lucky, because, hey, listen, 2015, 4 years ago, what's been going on since then?
Oh, gosh. Wow. We need to travel back in time. So, all right, let's activate the time machine. You have now entered the Brony Zone. Okay, so 2015, wow, it's hard to remember when we actually did the interview. I'll have to check the YouTube channel, I guess. By the way, check out the Creative Vibes Studios YouTube channel while you're at it. If this you're a first-time listener, they're great stuff. Anyway, plugs aside, it was, I guess, around that time, I think I was out of work at that time, actually. Because I moved up to Brisbane for a job from Melbourne. So I'd crossed three states to get there, and it only lasts about 3 months. But and I think that's at the time we did the interview, and I think I was doing the I'm Brony and I'm Proud podcast, and for the time sort of afterwards, it sort of helped keep my sanity as a regular thing to do. And people might be thinking, listeners, did I actually answer the question, what is a brony? I believe I did towards the end with 38 episodes. And you're asking, why only 38 episodes? Well, 38 minutes is how long to keep an active wormhole. But still, I got to chat with some amazing people, amazing bronies, and it's good to answer the question towards the end. Although there are times where I'm thinking, am I still a brony? It's like, dude, you've spent 38 episodes trying to answer that question. if you don't know the answer, go listen back. But it's like, no, I've listened to those episodes maybe half a dozen times before I released them. So it's like, no. And it's interesting using the different technology. Like when I first started the episodes, I was using like this, pretty ghetto kind of, mic, I guess, or headset. And then, and then I got something better and even better after that. And yeah, it's interesting. Do I want to go back and remaster the first episodes? It's like, it's a lot of work, so probably not. Lazy Brony. Hashtag Lazy Brony.
Well, you put so much time and effort into it, and like I remember when we had you on the show, I remember Sugar Dove's admiration for you as well. That's one thing I particularly remember from the recording process, because she was like, we were at that point just starting out as a show, and as a podcast, we were kind of a design train wreck. We had no clue what we were doing. We were basically throwing things together on the fly. Episodes recorded incredibly fast, piecing it all together just kind of ad hoc as it was going along. And then suddenly we have you on the show with your really neat podcast and like all the cool episodes you have and all neatly organized and all the cool guests and all the questions. And then in comparison, it was like, look how professional and cool this is, and look how fun and fantastic this Lucky Knight guy is. He's fantastic. And it's just like, the quality in those episodes, they show, there's no question of it.
Yeah, it only took me about 20 hours per episode to edit. To make, and people say, wow, everyone sounds so good. It's like, because I've made them that good. They belong to me. So that's probably what was eventually maybe the downfall towards the end of the show, the way I made it. But also life goes on, as they say. And when I moved back to Victoria for the same reason I moved for Queensland was job, so naturally did the same thing again, and found myself in a somewhat sleepy country town, and called Ararat, and shout out to Ararat, woo! And I was there for 3 to 4 years, really. So pretty much around the time that that we recorded our interview together, that it was around that sort of that transition time, of whether I crossed states or was just about to. And it's interesting, when you move to a country town, you don't know anyone, and spoiler alert, no bronies.
Oh no!
Oh, I know, right? Although I did catch one day, and he was wearing a Twilight Sparkle inspired T-shirt. It's like, you're a Brony, and I was like, I go out, and I went up to him, and I gave him a bro hoof, and I was like, I didn't ask for any contact information because he was there with his mom, but it was just naturally, and I was like, oh, thank God, thanks Celeste, you're another Brony.
There's another one of me here.
Oh, thank goodness. And I guess, I sort of, I guess interest sort of changed the gauge, or should I say shifted gears. I think I was still doing a Brony Now I'm Proud, but the internet connection was so bad that I couldn't stream it on Canterlot Hill, rest in peace. And eventually I just, I still had the podcast going, I believe. And eventually I was just like, oh, well, if it's not really working, I just, upload to YouTube and, keep it going on SoundCloud. And it's funny, I still renew my SoundCloud premium membership every year to keep the show on. Madness, I know. But, there will probably be this one or two people that may get inspired and do great things. So it's like, it must live. It must live, Crit Midnight. It must live. So, even though YouTube is free and it's probably even better, but still, you can download the episode from SoundCloud. Woo! Anyway, for those people who still download these days, and then I guess and then eventually it's like, okay, I think I've had enough. I've answered the question. And episode 38, interviewing Forever Free Brony. What a great way to go out. For the podcast, he is as amazing as his music. So So yeah, so it's that was a great way to go out. It was going out with a bang with that show, and I guess for me, I just wanted to be surround myself with more. I can't believe I'm saying it. Real people. I thought, oh, I joined the state emergency service. Shout out to the SES. And doing things I never thought I could do, but eventually it was just a way to make new friends, really. Because I thought I knew from my time in Brisbane, after 2 weeks of cabin fever, you got to make friends as quickly as you can for sanity purposes, mostly. Otherwise, you go a little. But yeah, and I was there, so I learned my lesson. So, but I probably joined one of the hardest groups of people to be friends with because it's like, oh, we just rely on each other because it's life and death situations. Oh, and it was a very tight group, but still understandable. So it took me a while to break into it. I did road crash rescue training. I did bush navigation. I did work health and safety training, and eventually it just became a way to keep busy mostly. And then I thought I'd get my sea legs again because I was in a Dragon Boat club in Brisbane and Melbourne. I've actually returned to the old Dragon Boat club actually very recently at the time of this episode. So, and a lot of my old friends are there, and I've made new friends as well. And the club has grown so much since I made a video from them, even pre-Brony probably. I know. Shocker. I know. There's a time before Brony, believe it or not, and yeah. And every time I went out sailing, there was no wind. Every time I didn't go, they told me, the conditions were great. So I thought, that's that meme, the wind from Mighty Boosh. I hate you. It was kind of like that, but no words. and then I somehow found myself trying up the gliding club. So that's not the hang gliders, just the motorless planes. And I really got into that. And I was pretty close to becoming a solo pilot, I reckon. But once you've had your first wave flight is when you go really high and you're almost like surfing along the clouds. You're like, I have achieved premiumness. And it's so I probably will go back and finish my training in the summer. But otherwise, it's just too long a drive. And I've just done that drive too many times. And yeah. And I guess after that, it was interesting that I thought, maybe time to get back into the Brony fandom, even just to do some kind of fresh project. And I think that's the other reason why I'm Brony. Oh my gosh, I can't even say the title anymore. It's gone. It's just I've just let it go. I know the frozen memes. Let them go away. No, come on back. So, and I think because I think I needed a fresh project as well. So after you've done something for a while, it can become stale. Even though to the people listening, it's like, this is great. It's like, are you gonna do it anymore? It's like, I think I needed something new as well. So, I don't know, Brony Gods, Celestia, whatever. Good old Midnight Scribe sort of hits me up and says, hey, I'm thinking about a new project. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I've just been thinking about doing something new. And then the good old Midnight said, I actually have had this idea for, some kind of Brony game show or something like that. Oh, really? And the Brony House was born. So very quickly, and we, and then he's like, okay, let's do it live for a HarCon. Okay. And Midnight can swear to this. My goodness, was I swearing like a drunken sailor before just 2 minutes before we went live?
Oh yeah, well the whole point just before, because it was your idea to go for that, because I hadn't even been aware of HardCon before then. But then you went, well, why don't we go for this and actually give this a shot and see how this went? And it was because I remember in the year or so beforehand, because I pitched this idea, I think back in, I want to say late 2016, going, hey, I've got this idea, and I spoke to yourself, Lucky, and we also had someone else who was going to be a host in the show as well. And we were going to record an episode, and I remember trying to do that, and it just didn't work out. So we never got around to recording that, and then the idea just got thrown in the can for a while, because once again, life and all the other stuff gets in the way. And I think it was, you came back to me about a year later saying you wanted to pushed forward with the idea, and like you took my original idea and then gave it the fuel it needed to actually go forward, because it's like ever since HackCon and the couple of episodes we've done since then on YouTube, then of course you've done it at Alicon, I've done it at Brony Scott. It's kind of that the reason that's happened is because of the injection of life that you put into as going into HackCon.
And gosh, was an amazing experience. I mean, thank goodness I had a decent internet connection that could actually do this, and it came out really well. I think we had a peak viewing of like 30 people, and I'm like, oh my god, people actually tuned in to listen to us.
I know,
and hashtag Brayboat.
Oh, Brayboat, yes. No, I am still delighted with that. I bring up Brayboat whenever I get an opportunity, which is still what really annoys me. You know, I've done 5 seasons of Creative Vibes. I've done a few episodes of the Brony House. I've been involved in projects here and there. And the thing that I am most proud of is the fact that I turned Brayburn into a boat.
For those who are not sure what we're talking about, please check out the Twitters and check out hashtag Brayboat. And we had one person who signed up to Twitter during the live stream so they could retweet.
I remember that.
So, you know, hashtag Brayboat is magic. So yeah, and oh my goodness, and we kept going after our time slot was over, and people like, and the chat was exploding, and oh my gosh, and then my audio was kicked off, and as soon as someone was about to do, you know, their spiel for their comic book series, shout out to GJ301. Oh my gosh, I remember his username, but I think he's retired from the Brony fandom now. But still, check out the comic book that he's worked on, and it's called Off the Field. I think it's called Off the Field. It's a Brayburn Soren shipping comic, and it's actually really good. So check it out. And so it did come to fruition, Midnight. The comic book did happen, you know, and we were there, you know, when, you know, the announcement was made. So, you know, so we were hip, you know, it was cool before, you know, it became cool. So
yeah,
we'd be very proud of that. and yeah, like, and that stream really came together, and like you're saying, and then I don't know, then Alicon came. It's like, oh, let's do a live version of this. And I was like, to think I was nervous for the live stream. Oh my goodness, nervousness was doubled, because like, it's interesting when you're doing a digital format of your show, and we did also a few, you know, episodes of the Brony House on YouTube, and oh gosh, this. And the beauty about it is, I from the life of me, I can't really see another Brony game show. It's like, at least, and for those who haven't checked out the Brony House, please do. If you and of course check out I'm Brony. I'm proud what you're at it, but the Brony House is just so much fun. Like, I've always probably had the you know, the hidden dream to be a game show host, and I've actually achieved that with the Brony House. So thanks to Midnight for everyone who joined us to make that happen. And more episodes will come. Just don't know exactly when, because as Midnight has mentioned, life happens. So, and yeah, and when you're presenting on stage, and it's like, you are really presenting a part of yourself, like a baby, and you're like, oh my goodness, you're putting this baby out, and everyone's going to be like, you know, observing it for a microscope. But everyone's really cool, and Toofs came, and I actually made Brony House mugs for giveaways to the audience, you know, had audience questions for giveaways. So yes, there is official Brony House merch. But,
wait, whoa, hang on a second. Wait, there's Brony House merch and I don't have a cap. I don't have a cap. There's a Brony House cap.
Yes, I actually had them made, for giveaways. Yeah, I've still got one, and it's funny. I've got a friend of mine who won one of the mugs, and he sometimes puts up images of the mug with Coco just randomly in the Alicon group chat. So, so the Brony House lives in cup/mug form. So yeah, so I slapped the logo on it on both sides, and it came out really well. So people ask me, "Are you going to sell the mugs at Alicon?" It's like, maybe. So. But Alicon 2.0 for me would be pretty chill. So the last one was a lot of work. It was very much a working holiday, and as Midnight would know, when you're involved in a convention. It was interesting because initially I was just going to go and do a panel. Then the MC had to pull out because of bronchitis, and then I said it took me only a fraction of a second to say yes when I was offered to fill in, and I was auctioneer. I did the auction and everything. Oh my gosh, if if you found your inner brony, it was like found my inner brony times a million, and then. And I was also helping out, doing a bit of, even volunteering. There was, I think it was understaffed on the first day. And so many people rose up to the challenge who just came there for the convention. And I thought I was just going to do a panel. But eventually I won a ticket for free at a meetup. And actually a meetup at the time of this podcast is happening for this year's Alicon today. So that apologies, that kind of dates the episode a little bit, but hey. But it's going to be great to catch up with friends that I hadn't had an opportunity. I said, "Oh, I'll chat to you later," and then I was like, "Oh, chatting ever." So this time around, I reckon it'll be more chill, just like, and maybe we're sort of, and it's being held at a wine center or something. So I think I'm going to maybe take in the sights a bit more and just I haven't decided whether I'm going to drive up or fly up, but we'll see. And also what happened was that I had a road trip actually happening. So I had a brony come down from Queensland, and then we picked up another brony from Horsham, which is 1 hour further than Ararat. So it's like 3 hours from Melbourne. And it's interesting when you meet a brony for the first time you've been chatting with for a little while, and you become instant besties. It was a beautiful thing that happened. And if you want to check out our My Little Karaoke, that's on the I'm Brony and I'm Proud YouTube channel. We did carpool karaoke, and the I'm Brony and I'm Proud tweets. I did a whole bunch of things on the way there, so a bit of randomness. So if you want to relive some of the Lucky Nights shenanigans, they're on the socials for all to see. So, and then eventually there was I think it was 2 Christmases ago, and I ended up crying because I didn't want to leave home because family became so important to me, and you don't realize how much family is, and until when you live so close yet so far, kind of thing, and when you're driving 6 hours combined, back and forth, after a while it's like, this is just getting too much. So I made a decision. Okay, I got to do something about it. And it took me 6 months to a year to finally, get into the right position or get the right position, and so I could move back. And it was a shock to the system. You don't realize how much moving is, but it's not like you're just moving from one suburb to the next. But it was moving 3 hours back, and had the moving truck, and shout out to Man with a Van. They were fantastic. That is not a paid endorsement, and. Yeah, and then I came back, and then I finally had the good sense to give myself a week of transition time, and thank goodness I did, because I thought, I'll start the job, me in words, the next day. So thank goodness I didn't do that. So I was pretty fresh, and been in the new job ever since, and doing digital and social and photography and video and all that sort of stuff. So doing what I do best. So it's interesting. Still, the experience I actually with social media that I've actually gained through the Brony fandom and otherwise have still continued to help my professional career. And even the last 4 years at my last job, I was testing out going even further. So really sort of almost no social media back to front now, which is great. So and I'm doing my thing. So. And I came back, and shortly I got into a relationship as well, but unfortunately it didn't last. I'll leave that to everyone's imagination, but it wasn't my fault. I'll just put it out there, and but still looking for Lucy Knight, or or my Still looking, and things are going well. Life is good, and it's interesting as I wasn't so sure about some things, but I think there's no doubt that you're still a brony when you say in a post, "Oh, I'm going to be there, any creature." Yeah, I'm still a brony, all right.
Well, it's great to see that in the 4 years, I mean, that things have improved for you, personally, professionally, the fact that you've taken things that you've actually done from your Brony projects into your professional career as well, and the fact that you still keep your toe in occasionally working on projects here and there, and, you've still got that creative flair and all the rest, and you're still your same enthusiastic self as well, and it's absolutely fantastic to see.
Thank you very much. And I just can't be any other way, really. And if people can't handle it, that's your problem. Not my problem, that's yours. If you can't handle the awesome, well, I'm just going to simply find people who can. And those people are bronies.
Hear to that.
But I also have other groups of friends as well. And I've actually got this sort of bohemian sort of intelligentsia, group of friends, and we've actually reconnected in recent months. Actually, probably since me coming back to Melbourne, they've been the catalyst for the whole group to sort of band together again. And we've got our own little subgroup called Boys, and we're checking out different burger places. So hashtag Burger Boys, or should I say Burger Boys, and hashtag Brayboat.
I know, hashtag Brayboat indeed. I actually need to retweet that and get that going again, because it's like, yeah, I need to see more Brayboat in our lives. I'll tell you what, actually, I do have one other question for you, because it's, we've seen how things have changed for you in the last few years and where you've gone from and where you've ended up. Just out of curiosity, what do you think has changed in the fandom since 2015?
Yeah, well, I like to think the fandom has reached, a stage of maturity. It was, I thought I was going to BronyCon. I did buy a ticket to BronyCon, but I was like, well, that was the cheapest part. All the airfares and accommodation, it's like, no. It is cool with Alicon, actually. Princess Celestia is coming.
Oh, well, I mean,
So
it can't be that.
It's like, yeah. What can you do? It's just, it just warms the heart. And every question that's going to be asked will be like, "Dear Princess Celestia, can you read my fan fiction?" No, no one has asked that at Alicon yet. Thank goodness. But it's definitely reached a level of maturity. The show is, it's on its way out, and I knew it was coming. And when the last episode started to air, that's like really when it hit me. I was like, oh my god, this is really, really ending. Is the show a catalyst for the fandom? It actually is. And we'll see what happens when the show goes, or, it's, what should I say, reborn. But I don't know. For me, the values of the show and everything have just become adopted by my person, really. So it's like, brony and person alike sort of becomes, fused. Not Steven Universe fusion, but close. But still, if you haven't checked out Steven Universe, please do, because generally, if you like My Little Pony, it was very quick for me to jump on the Steven Universe bandwagon as well. And yeah, will people always be bronies? Well, it's interesting, like you're seeing, like, the top tier, community, creators. They're now getting married and starting, and and there's people being in the fandom for these 10 years and have now their families, and they're passing on the lessons that they've learned to their children and creating a next generation, I should say, of super people, who are emotionally healthy as a result. And it's for boys and girls and every other genders in between. And yeah, so yeah, it's not the whole the whole join the herd thing. I think that was very much the first few years, and I think I came when I came into the fan, it was about sort of halfway in. But now it's pretty chill, really. Conventions will still happen, meetups will still happen. I think down the line eventually, but eventually people just will just get together as friends and just enjoy those friendships, and and maybe just relive old memories. And but at the moment, the content train, oh my god, it hasn't even slowed down. So, but at the time of this episode, I've been so busy with life, or just haven't had the energy, or just doing whatever, that I have been out of touch a little bit with the content, even though I'm getting notifications like crazy. But the stuff is out there, so I think it'll be at least a few years, even after after the show's ended, that content will still come out, will still be pumped out. So, but I think it's a natural thing when if one door's closing and another one opens. Like I'm starting to get back into science fiction again, and yeah, but being a brony and the fandom, I think, will still be a part of everyone, no matter how far the rabbit goes down the old rabbit hole.
Oh, definitely.
I am proud to be a part of, or be associated with Creative Vibes, and it's been great seeing how Creative Vibes has been evolving as well. So it's now the Creative Vibes Studios will be encompassing not just Brony, but all art and everything. So I'm looking very much forward to the future of Creative Vibes Studios, where the natural progression is to broaden, is to reach new people across the world. So stay tuned.
Oh, definitely. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the future? I mean, we're still finding out ourselves, so it's an adventure for us as well.
Oh, you could say it's an adventure time.
Oh, we've just referenced head desk.
I think I managed to squeeze in one pun into this conversation, please.
That's one more than I've done, so you know what? I'll let you have it, enjoy it, have it, love it, cherish it, because...
nom, 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 it's tasty.
Well, I tell you what, we are going to wrap up the show there just now, because, that's all we've got time for at the moment, but once again, Lucky, thank you so much for coming back on. It has been a blast as usual.
And shout out to something that I've fully said... and I think it was over the Brony house, was nothing like a good old Brony blast, and I think I did raise a few eyebrows with that one.
That is, before we get any madder, we shall end the show here. My thanks to Lucky Knight for being on, and of course my thanks to you guys for watching as always. And of course, if you want to get in touch with us, have you got constructive criticism, praise, perhaps you've got an idea for someone from an earlier season that you want us to interview, because we're still working out guests for a couple of the future episodes for these retrospectives, so if there's someone you want us to particularly get back on, we can see what we can do, you never know. So get in touch with us. We've got our Facebook, we've got our Twitter, we've got our email address, highlandbronies@hotmail.com. We've got the YouTube channel where you're watching us right now. Put in a comment below, and who knows, we might take the idea on board. You never know. But we are going to wrap up the show for tonight. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. And instead of saying please subscribe, because you know what? This is actually just a nice, sentimental, happy, joyous episode. I'm actually going to let Lucky Knight see us out.
And of course, to everyone, please subscribe.